Hey yo, Shalom, all praise to Yahweh, Hashem Yahshua, Hashem Rakakadash, double us the apostle of the GreatMillStone, and Shalom to all the brothers out there doing the work in sincerity and truth. Just gonna be going into a vid, man. I was basically out in London yesterday, and they had like an event called like the RAF 100, which is more or less a celebration of basically a celebration of like the RAF, which is the Royal Air Force. You know, for anyone not from the UK, it was basically just going over. They were doing like flyovers, having planes fly over, having bombers fly over, all these different things over the city. Basically putting on a display for the royal family, well, chiefly for the Queen, really. And that more or less just, you know, as I was there watching it, you had these stupid fucking American, because these Americans are some stupid motherfuckers, man. These Americans are some of the dumbest monkeys you've got on the face of the earth. But you know, yeah, basically when this whole, they basically had a whole lot of pomp and circumstance with it. Having like all the Royal Air Force marching out, like all down the street. Had like some guys playing bagpipes, had a whole procession and ceremony to it. And that really, you know, as I was there, it's like all these people just like, wow, so amazing. But really, I was thinking this is just like the elites basically making a show of their power. And it's like, it's funny because yesterday I read a newspaper, like Evening Standard, and they actually had a quote in there, and it said like, I've been trying to find this fucking quote, but it seems to have evaporated off the fucking internet. But it basically said like that. For the the RAF, it was basically a display of power. They were basically doing it to show, you know, we're still one of the most powerful air forces in the world, and we're active in 23 different countries. That's what the quote was. I was like, you know, that's basically Esau just out there showing his power. These elites showing, look, man, we can show. Look, man, we are the Edomites basically trying to say we are the gods on the earth. You can't fuck with us. And you know, well, that's start with Ephesians, man.
This is Ephesians chapter 2, verse 2. Wherein time past ye walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air.
Yeah, so this so-called white man, he's the prince of the power of the air. And that's why he's got their military forces, and that air superiority is a big part of that, man. You go into, it was like World War One. You go into like the apostles, the breakdown they did on Revelation 9. Basically, you go, it's like that. Airplanes was a big part of what you call it, of like the new technology that made like the war on such a different scale than like the wars that were coming before, because they had like dogfights, they had air combat, bombers, all these different things, these different aspects. Basically, that was a whole new realm of combat that people were going into, man.
If I could say as well, we were watching a documentary yesterday on World War II, and the actual air raids helped a lot with like logistics. And you know, brother was saying that logistics in war is pretty much, that's a major part of the war. You gotta have maneuverability, and that the air power that they had basically gave them the cover for that as well. You know, so they can move their ground units. You know, it was going into Germany and their Panzer tanks, and they were basically destroying France, man. They were just going into France and just taking over France like in pretty much no time. Blitzkrieg, man.
Yeah. You got more on that?
No, that's it.
Okay. Let me get into some of it, because I got this on the evening side. It says RAF 100 Fly Past 2018 live stream highlights. Let me just go to the article. It says the largest ever formation of RAF Typhoons, about 100 in the skies above London today, to mark the centenary of the Air Force. Featuring up to 100, blah blah blah. Said the highlights of the flypast was when 22 of the RAF Typhoon jets formed the number 100, which had served as a surprise for the public and royal family watching the spectacle. Squadron leader said the arrangement of the aircraft took months of planning, with pilots also undertaking simulated training and multiple briefings. And it's got like, I think you can see it there, funny enough. Like basically the planes flying around over, what's it called, Buckingham Palace. And then you got the Royals. You can't really see it in this because it's kind of small. You got the royals on the it's not even working. Got the royals on the ledge as well. So that was like a supreme circumstance. And you got these motherfuckers setting up 100 in the sky as well. Funny as hell, man. So they do it, and the thing is imagine how much fucking fuel these guys burn. Imagine how much all kinds of money, the hours of training and all this shit just to do this. That show basically just the elite show. And look, man, we basically, we have that power, man. Esau basically showing himself as that prince of the power of the air, and that's really, that's in the scriptures. Esau's that prideful devil, and he basically he makes show of that. Basically, look, man, I am this great power, man, and really a lot of our people are you can get Isaiah 30 from the top. A lot of our people really they're wowed by that. That's why you talk to some of these niggas on the street, man. They're just like, but how can you take the so-called white man down? They're bugging out in their mind because they're thinking about all these, these fighter jets, bombers, nukes, all these different forms. They're thinking like, how can we fight against that? But then that's why you need faith, man. Because on a carnal level, we ain't gonna take down the so-called white man. But it's down to faith, man. Go on.
This is Isaiah chapter 30 verse 1. Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin, that walk to go down into Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt.
Yeah.
Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion.
Oh, is that the one that trust in chariots? Maybe I was mixing up.
Isaiah 30. Trust in chariots. I don't know what it is.
Okay, let me check. Because I was thinking I thought it was in there. Trust in chariots. Oh, it's 31. And 1. Okay.
Right. This is Isaiah chapter 31 verse 1. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help, and stay on horses, and trust in chariots.
Yeah, stay on horses, trust in chariots, man. No modern day chariots. That's these tanks, these aircraft, these destroyer boats, these aircraft, what they called aircraft carriers. These aircraft carriers, all these different military technologies that Esau has power in, man. This is the thing, is the so-called white man who boasts in that power, because that's why you got a lot of these stupid fucking Americans thinking they're feeling, they're smoking they're smelling their own ass, thinking it smells good, because they see, this technology, they can go around and blow up motherfuckers. But the thing is all of that is just that's just not even. The Lord basically set you up with that, and He can smash that out of your hands like no man's business, man. Okay. Grab what was what else were we holding up in the feed?
Revelation 13.
Oh, yeah, Revelation 13.
Right, this is Revelation chapter 13, verse 13. And He doeth great wonders, so that He maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. When
Esau dropped them nukes, everyone was just like, damn, they're through. Everyone was thinking, bro, them Japanese, it was a unconditional surrender, bro.
Yeah.
The unconditional surrender is you just bending over and spreading them butt cheeks, man. Especially to the so-called white man. This devil as well, you have to unconditionally. So that's just like, yo, we just whatever, man. And the thing is, these were the Japanese that had no supplies, no planes left. They were done, man. And they were suicide bombing with their planes, man. Kamikaze attacks.
They were going hard into China.
They were getting it in, and then it was just like they were just fuck that, no, just unconditional surrender. That's a level of destruction that was visited upon them, and everyone knew. That's why it's like, yo, nukes. People ain't playing around when it comes to them nukes. People are looking at the things. The Lord's put the spirit on everyone as well, because that's the judgment on Babylon. That's how judgment's going to be played out on Babylon. But everyone's basically in the spirit of, yo, if you ain't got them nukes, you're through. Because they've seen the so-called white man let loose with them lower level, them lower tier, that A-bomb. But yo, with that nuclear technology, and it's been known, now it's known to everyone. Everyone's like, yo, if I don't get them, I'm through. And that's why the so-called white man really, he's reveling in that power, man, that gift, that blessing he was given, man.
Yep.
But, okay, go on with Habakkuk's.
This is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith.
You gone?
Yea, also, because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as deaf.
Yeah, that's it, man. He's a proud man, neither keepeth at home. And that's why it's like, imagine, Trump called up at 3 in the morning to Theresa May and said, Theresa, get your planes in Syria. And then the attack, just fucking DJ Trump was just there scratching the discs. And then you got some air bases in Syria getting blown the fuck up. That's basically that neither keep at home. These guys are in fucking England. They ain't even send a single fucking speck of dust in fucking Syria, but they're just like okay, Air Force go over, fuck them up. That's a proud bastard. How the hell are you gonna? No, this is disgusting. We cannot allow this to happen. Some dirty setups, man. Some inside CIA operatives setting shit up. Then you're gonna come in like, no, we need to. That Air Force is a big part of how the so-called white man does that, man. It's basically like, hey, that's that power, man. That blessing, that sword, which is the gut, that capability to bring death and destruction. That's what he's all about. It says it enlarges the desire as hell, and this guy's going to the ends of the earth, man, and trying to fuck guys up, man. What the hell? Like, what the? That's how fucking crazy. And the thing is that's what they're reveling in with this celebration, man. And
people over there in Japan are still fucked because Japan over there is still fucked because of these nukes, and over there in Syria right now, in a more like nearer these times, Syria is a complete ruin, and that's because this guy is his death, man. Everything he does, he's sword. He's just a sword. He's the sword of the Lord, man. That's what it is. Brings about the death.
This it says here. It says the Queen spoke of the remarkable contribution to defence over the last 100 years, as she presented the Queen's colour to the RAF at the forecourt of Buckingham Palace. And it says like contribution to defence. That's BS, bro. These guys have been going to other countries and murking them off. Outside of World War II, which was a fucking setup anyway, the Blitz and blah blah blah. Even that was a fucking setup. Really, these Air Force have been going into other countries, blowing motherfuckers up, and claiming that as righteousness. That's disgusting. That's a devil, man. You got more on that, Habakkuk?
It's a little bit more. It says, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as deaf, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people.
Yeah, that's it, man. This guy is. He's basically in that realm of. He's basically just trying to bring all that shit together, and just have everyone else underneath him. That's you think about it, that's like he really does need the what the hell are they called, the sheeple, man. He needs the masses just kind of wowed and just flabbergasted with like the displays of power that he's able to do, man, because that's just going to keep them in that vegetative slave servant state, man. So when he starts murking off them by the billion, then they're still going to come running to him and still revere him as a god.
Okay. That's what we said.
Yeah, go on.
This is Revelation chapter 11 verse 14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly.
Yeah, second world's past, third world comes quickly. That's that third world war, which is all these displays of power, just like with the tariffs with Trump. It starts off as a display as basically saying, okay, look, we can't be messed with, but that's going to escalate. All these things are going to escalate. You watch in previous world wars, you got that one event, Franz Ferdinand getting wigged, and then down the line, all you've got is every hella countries getting involved and slogging it out, and millions upon millions of men them getting murked off, man. That's that's what you've got going on in these world wars, man. So it's like, hey man, the Lord's basically getting ready to open the meat grinder on the planet Earth yet again, man. And that's, you know, that's a beautiful thing, because judgment needs to be passed out here. No, I was going to say, get Isaiah 14 from, where do I want it from, man? Maybe like 12?
Oh, the can't always weak as me.
Yeah, do 10.
Right, this is Isaiah chapter 14, verse 10. All they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we?
Yeah, that's it. That's how. Because the thing is, that right now, everyone's looking at so-called white man like white God, like he's some ultimate specimen creation. Even though this guy, you know, he's out in the sun too long, then his skin starts turning into papier-mâché. Go on.
It says, art thou become like unto us? Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy
pomp is brought down to the grave. That's that pride that was mentioned earlier. Because these guys have a lot of pride. Even these low-level guys, man, they're all proud. Even though they ain't done shit, these guys will be on benefits. They, you know, they're living like one of the scummiest low-life lives, and they're gonna be looking down at you like, you black shit. That's, you know, that all of that is gonna get brought to the ground, and it's the heathen are gonna be like, yo, you're not even. They'll be like, because the thing is in that time, Israel's gonna be on that Son of God level. Everyone's going to be there. And when you see the average Israelite, not even, let's go to the lowest level Israelite, is just on a level far above and beyond anything these heathens can even dream to be. Then they're just going to be like, hold on, so what was this white man? They're going to see him out there pushing block, getting sunburned, getting lashed. And they're going to be like, damn, what, you know, who is it? What the fuck's this guy? Go on.
It says, the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations?
That's it, yeah. What's that Air Force doing, weakening the nation? Ain't bringing no righteousness. How they're weakening the nations. They're gonna, when that, and the thing is you got in the Apocrypha, man, about how the Satan, these angels, the so-called white man, all these Air Forces are gonna fight against Yahushua, and then they're just gonna get some epic, legendary levels of destruction visited upon them, and then that's going to be delicious to behold, man, because that's going to cement it. They're going to be thinking, oh no, but because these guys are used to Independence Days and all kinds of different other movies where it's like the aliens invade and then they get fucked up. They come in, there's just some American guy, you know, some blonde-haired, blue-eyed American just gonna, you know, give a swift uppercut to some alien and then take over his ship.
You got a precept?
Yeah.
2nd Ezra chapter 13, verse 8. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived but only dust and smell of smoke.
That's that, that's that proud RAF 100.
All that RAF.
Yeah, it's got RAF 100. It's only, that's it's gonna be done and forgotten, man. Ain't no one gonna be. Them guys are giving out the little the badges as well. I think badges, whatever, man. Those little things that you put in, and then you just got to display like the flower of the RAF. I'm like, man, are reveling in all this so-called greatness, but y'all are gonna be forgotten. Y'all gonna get smoked. That's the words according to the Biblios, mate.
Okay.
Yeah, jump back in.
Isaiah.
Yeah.
It says, for thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of Yahweh. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds.
Yeah, sit atop the congregation. Basically, just trying to turn these people into like fucking batteries, man, like the Matrix. God.
I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High.
This guy's really thinking he's like the Most High, man. There was a quote I read earlier, man. It's like, you know, one of the guys was saying, like, after he flew, and I think the Battle of Britain, he said, yeah, you know, he basically said he touched the face of God. I was like, bro, just cause your ass is flying in the sky, don't make a chariot come zap you up, man. Gonna be making some blasphemous comments. You ain't on no level. These Edomites really think they're just that great. And the Lord's going to correct them, man. It's going to be a beautiful correction.
It says, this is the correction. It says, yet thou shalt be brought down to hell and to the sides of the pit.
You're going to be down in hell, man. And, you know, ain't going to be no red guy with no pitchfork stabbing you. But it's going to be worse. Because you're going to be, it's not going to be your soul getting burnt up and stabbed. It's going to be your flesh. You're going to be standing there, ah!
Yeah. The Israelite man's heaven is going to be Esau's hell, man.
Yeah, straight. That's how it's been set from the first.
You're going to be in slavery, boy.
Man went in the womb and despised each other. Bare uppercuts, combinations getting done in the womb. So from the first, man was set against each other. So it's hey man, everything that you've laboured for, all that you've done, it's gonna get torn down, man, and you're gonna get busted down, dude. That's a fucking El Clasico. What was I thinking? Was there anything else you're holding?
No, but there's a bit more on this stuff.
Go on.
It says, they that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms?
Yeah, this is the world destroyer himself, man. You know, the way Esau's got everyone looking at him now is like, you know, if that guy even looks at your country wrong, you're just done.
It says, that made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened up the house of his prisoners.
That didn't open the house of his prisoners, I think it is.
That opened not the house of his prisoners.
Yeah. So, you know, this guy's got Guantanamo Bay. They ain't even no crime against you. You're just in there, just getting waterboarded, getting fucked up.
Yeah.
That's a devil, man. And the thing is, that's what he wants. He wants to have you spiritually, physically, and mentally enslaved. When you're just gonna be there. If you're outside of if you're outside, you're gonna be tripped up. He's just gonna be looking at the monitor. He's just gonna go, You got someone outside of the house at the time they're not meant to be, You're gonna have the send the enforcement troops, and enforcement troops gonna come gun butt you. You're gonna get fucking shanked up, tortured, messed up, and they're probably gonna murk your whole family. All that. Esau was after some demonic, devilish aims, man. What the hell kind of how can you how Lord ain't gonna allow this man to have ultimate power, man? This guy needs to get fucking relieved of the power seat, man. He's corrupting it, man. You got more? Or is it going to something else?
You got something else?
Alright, can leave it there, man. But you know, basically this, you know, this so-called white man, all that pride and all this so-called, you know, power he's meant to have, you know, his air forces, all these different military powers, even that nuclear weapons, man. All of these things are basically, it's in the end, it's all going to be revealed. It's going to be revealed just who he is, man. All these things that he's been built up with. That's the Lord's done it as a display of his power, man. Ain't because Esau's so smart or so great. Oh, these are fucking Edomites, man. These guys couldn't even figure out how to change clothes before they disintegrated, man. Lord had to bro them up to that level, man. So, you know, leave it there, man. Shalom.
Shalom.